Hello, folks. This is the first of probably one or two, well, first of a couple lecture videos talking about how to do data cleansing in Excel. I think data cleansing is really important, and some people call it data cleaning, cleaning the data, scrubbing the data. There's a lot of different terms for it, but it's something really important because when you start working in industry, you're going to be downloading a lot of data from different systems. Maybe you're working in SAP, Oracle Financials, or any other ERP, or even if you're not doing something in accounting, you're doing something within Banner. Right? Banner is used by Mary Washington for a series of various different back office functions. You're going to download the data, and it's not going to be in readily usable form. You know, the columns don't fit, the rows don't fit. There's extra spaces in some of the cells. Some of the cell titles aren't consistent. You might have extra weird characters at the end of some of the cells. And so what you're going to have to do is use a lot of different functions that come with Excel, text functions, and then various other functions to basically clean the data so you can get it into usable form to do some analysis. And like I said, I think this is really important. And so that's why I'm developing a series of lecture videos talking about how to do it, okay? So what I'll be doing in this video is I have this PowerPoint presentation right here, and I also have this Excel file, and I'm going to scoot this over here so you can see the whole file. Right over here, some of these right there. This Excel file and this PowerPoint presentation are both posted under modules on Canvas. So if I look on Canvas over here, you know, remember they're going to be under modules, so they'll be there, okay? So they'll be there right there where you can see data cleansing, okay? So they'll be there, and then you can kind of take a quick look at it. Well, I want you to watch these videos and follow along, okay? So why don't we go ahead and start looking at the PowerPoint presentation. So this is it in that PowerPoint presentation, and then this Excel file, if I look back over here, and I'm sorry I have to move this around. Here's the PowerPoint presentation that I'm working with. Here is the Excel file that we'll be working with, okay? So some common issues with bad data. So for example, dealing with bad data, like as I was mentioning at the beginning, it's very common. It just means that you have data that can't be easily used without removing unusable characters. Maybe there's capitalization issues, there's inappropriate formatting. It's really common when you import data from another system. So you import data from, like as I was saying earlier, SAP, Oracle Financials, Banner. When I used to work as a financial analyst, we would have to import data from a data warehouse. And the name of the data warehouse was GCFMR, Global Cross-Functional Management Reporting. And so you would import the data into Excel, and this was a long time ago, and so you can see some of these issues are still there, and you'd have to clean the data. It wasn't formatted right, it had extra characters, not consistent labels, all those kinds of issues, okay? So some other common issues, there could be abbreviations in the data, so maybe it says VA, not Virginia, and you want it to say Virginia, so you have to clean up that data. There could be some capitalization issues with the data. Some things could be all caps, all lowercase, and you want them proper case, you want them uppercase, you want them lowercase, whatever. There could be extraneous data. There could be leading zeros in the data, for example. You could have import errors. You can have different titles or labels for the same data. Some people might call it cust num. Some people might call customer number, or account num, or account number. And so you're pulling in from a couple different systems, and you've got two different labels, and now you've got to just kind of concatenate that and make it into one big file. Okay, so there could be leading and trailing spaces. There could be spaces in some of the data that you don't want, and there could be trailing spaces in the data that you don't want. Could be inappropriate characters. Sometimes one of the files that you'll be working with later on, in your case, for example, it has an asterisk at the end of it, or maybe it has the currency symbol. Maybe you download it and it has the Great British Pound symbol before the data, and you're not able to multiply something because it has this text pound symbol in the data, and that just doesn't help. Okay, so you have to clear that out in order to do any type of meaningful analysis. Okay. There could also be extra spaces, as I was saying. There could be commas in the data. I mean, all kinds of things. Okay. Unformatted data, I think I've already kind of talked about that some, but that's kind of almost an obvious. It pulls down straight from the system, and it doesn't have the currency symbol that you might want it to have. It doesn't. It's not formatted in bold or italic that you might want it to be. So some of those with the formatting data I don't really cover too much in this lecture, just because I think you've already kind of gone over that. You know how to bold data and how to format and stuff like that. So I haven't really talked about that too much in this one. I'm addressing some of these other issues that might be a little bit newer for you. Okay. So what I'm going to be talking about now until through slide 11 is different functions in Excel that are useful for cleaning data. Okay. So the first one, we have some text functions, and these are various text functions in Excel, and they allow you to retrieve a portion of the text in a cell. So you can have the left function, you can have the right function, you can have the mid function, and then LEN stands for length. Okay, so left returns a subset of the cell, starting with the left cell, right, starting with the right of the cell, and then moving left. This one starts left and moves right. This one starts in wherever you say it to start. So you say start at position 2 and go 5. So it would return whatever's in position 2 of the string through character 7, because you're saying to go 5. Okay, length returns the length of the string. I'm sorry. And so I use that term string and cell and text. Sometimes I use those interchangeably, but string is text. So it's like the letter D. That's a string. That's text. Okay, and I'm saying that cell contents is a string. Okay, so if we look over here, you can see that I am on the first tab right down here, and it says sample data text functions 1. Okay, so what I have over here is I have input, then I have the function, and then I have the desired result, and then I have the actual, this is the function that we'll use, this is the input, this is what we want it to be, and then this is the actual function itself, and then I'll do a demo. So you can see right over here, I've got Dave Henderson, and what I want to get is just the first name Dave. And so this is what I want it, what I want it to return, is just Dave. Okay. So if I look at the function, that's it. And so I'm just going to demonstrate doing it. I'll go left, and I'll go open parentheses, and I'll click here, and then I'll go 4. Now the problem with this is you need to know how long the first name is. So mine, is Dave, it's just 4, but not everybody's is going to be 4. So this right here, just this, has kind of limited utility for cleaning data. Like if you imported data and it had the full name and you just wanted the first name, what you'd actually have to do is use a combination of functions, and we'll talk about that later to get to that. Okay. So I just go left, and then it just starts from the left and goes 4 characters. That's what it does. It goes 4 up through 4, the number 4, 4 spaces. Okay. So then I can also do right, which says retrieve the last name, and so I need it to count. So I said B5. That's what I want it to. That's the input text, and it starts from the right and goes 9. Okay. And so I want it to retrieve the last name. So I'll come over here and I'll go right. And then I just click on this, and then again I have to know where the last name is. And so this, mine goes 9, but not everybody's going to do that. So that's the problem with this, and so you would almost have to use it in conjunction with another function, as I'll show you later. Let me just comment a little bit more on that. Now, if I were doing this in the real world, I wouldn't just specify 4 or 9. I'm just showing you that to show you how these functions work in a very easy example here. But what you'd want to do is you'd want to find out where the space is. So you'd almost have to use the find function, which we'll talk about later, to find out where the space is. And then you would say how far you would go is to where the space is -1. And then that would retrieve the first name, okay, or the left function. In a similar way with the right function, okay. So and like I said, we'll tackle that in probably another video, because these videos are only 15 minutes. But I do, you see down here, I have this combining functions example that I'll go through and combine a couple functions at once, okay? So this one right over here, it uses the mid function, so I'm just going to show you that. So I say mid, and then here's the text. This is what I want to take the mid of. Now you can see the next argument is the start number. So if I want to come over here, and you can see what I did is I said mid B6, which is right over here, and I start at position 6, and I go through 10, okay? So I come over here, and I say mid, right over here, and I'll say 6, through 10, and there we go. But see, I have to know how to count. I have to count. And so that just, again, it's not, for this, it's fine just to demonstrate it, but it will not work on everybody's last name, okay? Length returns how long it is. So just go len. There you go. And it says this is how long it is. It's 14 characters. Okay. And so then I can come over here and then I can say length mid retrieve the last name. And so this is where I could get into using a combination function. So I say mid B8. I start at number 5 and why 5? Because that's, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Start at position 5, and then go to the length of the entire string. Okay, so I just go mid, right over here. I start at 5, and then I go to the length of the entire string like that, and we get Henderson. Okay. All right. So that's our first one right over there. I'm going to look at the next one. I have some other functions. Okay. I can also do upper, lower, and proper. Okay, so these help you with formatting. So, for example, if you had something that was all uppercase, all lowercase, and you want it to be all uppercase, or all lowercase, all uppercase, and you want it to be lowercase, or it's uppercase, and you want to convert it to proper case. Okay, proper case means the first character is capitalized. Everything else is lowercase. All right. So let's take a look at that. That is going to be on your second tab, right over here. Okay. So if I've got Dave Henderson, and again, I want this to be upper, and this should be lower, and then this should be proper. There. Sorry about that. So you have uppercase, so I want it to be uppercase. All I do is just go equals upper, right over here. Like this. Okay. If I want it to be lower, I just go use the lower function, click on that, makes it all lowercase. If I want it to be proper, and then take a look at this one right over here where it says Dave Henderson. See it's lowercase d, lowercase h. And if I go proper, like this, and that's pretty cool. Okay. So I'm going to end this lecture video now, and then I'll do some other ones covering the rest of this PowerPoint presentation spreadsheet. Okay, thanks.